Okay, so here's some quick and dirty instructions on how to swap out the wires on your shoes for some new ones. This shoe only has one wire left on it right now, but the process will be the same. So the first thing to do is to remove the cable clamp from the shoe. And so you just open this up and unscrew until it falls out. You can see there it's falling out, and then you can close this and pull the cable clamp out. So there it is. If your cable is still attached here, or if you have this length here, this is what you're going to use to measure your new cable with. If you don't have that, that's okay. But since I do have this wire here, I'm going to mark it. Maybe. Right where it enters into the clamp. And then I'm going to remove it from the clamp. And then we can pull it through the shoe and then just pop it out. So now that I've marked that, I'm going to use a ruler. If you do not have the old wire to measure, that's okay. You will just kind of use an estimated place to start, and you can adjust from there. I recommend starting 25 to 30 millimeters, probably more like 25 millimeters from the end of your new wire. So have it coming out of the bottom of the clamp, about 25 millimeters, maybe 30 millimeters from the end of the new wire. Start there, and then you can loosen or tighten as needed. And figure out the length that I had the wire installed at. So this one, I'm going to measure to this side, the loop side of this crimp here. So I'm going to measure to that, and I've got about 212 millimeters there. So this wire we got from this side of the shoe. It's the outside side of the shoe. The wires that you receive will have little pieces of tape on them. 2 of them will be marked outside, 2 of them will be marked inside. So since we got that from the outside side of the shoe, we want to use one of the outside wires. So we can just rip that. Get all the tape residue off. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to remeasure that number that we just measured off the other one, again from the same spot on the top, the top of the crimp up here. Not the top of the black heat shrink, but the top of the crimp that you can sort of see an outline of. And so that's going to go right about there. And then come down here, and then you can mark it in the same place using your pen. We're just going to pretend I did that. We're going to keep that off. Okay, so then you just hook this back in here and pull pretty hard until it snaps. Maybe you see a snap. Now, most of the time, you can just feed this through and it'll go right through. But sometimes, particularly for some reason with the outside wires, sometimes it won't just feed through. So if it doesn't just feed through for you, like this one's not, then what you can do is use your number 2 2mm Allen wrench to take off this heel pad. And then lay this in here to where it sits in the channel. Does that show up okay in the video? And just kind of hold it in place so it's lying nice and flush in the channel. And then place this back on. Hold it there and see, did it work? No, I think I screwed it up. So let's try again. Holding it right there in the channel. I think I got it that time. There we go. And then screw this back in place. And then take your cable clamp and with it pointed out that direction, insert your cable so you get to the mark that you measured. And then tighten this. This is just sort of an initial tightening. This is not your final tightening, but just, a little, tight enough to hold it in place. If you have enough extra wire left, you can tuck it back in this hole. Right now I don't. Let me add a little extra wire in there. So if you don't have enough wire, that's okay. But if you do have enough wire to tuck back into that hole, do so. So to do that, you just fold back down so that it looks like that. And then you feed this back into here. Like so it pops through. And then you want to pull it out so that the wire's coming up on the correct side. So it's on this side, staying on this side, and then you place it so that these little square protrusions meet up with this channel. And when it's upside down like this, you want the wire to be coming around and pointing down. Your extra is going to be pointing up at you. And right now that screw is going to be pointed in towards the shoe. And then you just get it started in here like this. And then screw it in. And then once it gets to this point, you can flip it around. And then it should look like this. Does that look clear in there? So the screw is pointed out the back of the heel. And it comes up. This is coming out of the right side hole in the back of the shoe and going into the right side hole in the clamp. And then you just move it up to your preferred spot. Okay, and now once you have the clamp where you want it to go, it's time to do your final tightening. And just get it in there. I kind of like to put my 3 fingers here and give it a nice turn. It doesn't need to be super tight, but you want to use the long end of your Allen wrench and just kind of like the same tightness that you would do on your water bottle before going for a ride.